Alright, aka Powders, we're talking about hot topic today. We're still discussing the X-Men. Yes, I know, I'm sick of it as well. Mystique, Morph. How on earth can they have two genders when we respect what the mutants actually are from their inception? What am I talking about? We gotta get into this. Let's go. AKA Powders, I'm just going to put up two items from Facebook that came up through one of my threads. I am blacking out the individual that posted these because, well, just out of respect, and I like to keep ideas open. I like to keep the conversation going, and I also like to be proven wrong. Just so we know, let's just catch up on where I'm at with the X-Men franchise. I believe that the X-Men franchise ended with Onslaught. From X-Men Volume 1, Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, Giant Size X-Men number 1, not even that other crap, but all the way into Onslaught. That is one of the greatest science fiction and superhero epics of all time. Everything that came after was really just trying to recapture a lot of that Onslaught energy, a lot of that Age of Apocalypse energy, a lot of that Jim Lee energy, John Byrne. It goes on and on. But at the same time, I always kept track of the franchise. I read everything from Onslaught all the way through House of M. One-shots, graphic novels. It goes on and on. So it's not like I'm not totally unfamiliar with the X-Men. Where I'm hazy on, right, is the modern day stuff, because there's just not a lot in there that appeals to me, and this is where we're going. I don't care if they turn Bobby Drake gayer. I really don't. What I think is disingenuous is the people that like to backlog some of the history, and they retcon it, and they act like Bobby Drake always was gay. No, he was in fact an absolute womanizer. Go read some of the X Factor, early issues of X Factor. You see plenty of that. It would be no different if they turned the Human Torch gay and tried to say that Johnny Storm was not a womanizer. A lot of comic book characters back in the day, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, were absolute animals, absolute womanizers. I even look at Daredevil for that. So it's not so much that these characters are changing and, kind of adapting to the time. All comic book characters do that. But where it gets a little bit, and a lot of people take the X-Men stuff close to heart because they somehow think if you're attacking the X-Men, you're attacking them, which is, it's a phenom. I think it's something new. I think it's something brewing on social media. Guys, I'm your X-Men ally over here. But here's the confusion when we discuss the gender of Morph, and the confusion when we discuss the gender of Mystique. It's a simple idea, and the X-Men mutant gene, the X-Factor gene, the precept for all of that is that it emerges when you hit puberty. In effect, and this is completely lost on the franchise today, the mutant explosion inside the body is an allegory for teenagers. It's for the teenagers blossoming and becoming a part of the world. People somehow we do the mutants at birth now, which for a lot of the power sets actually makes no sense. And this is where the allegory of the mutation equals to puberty, it somewhat is a good story device and story solution, because we cannot have characters with godlike abilities have them when they're giving birth. Now, a lot of Superman also adapted some of this. There was a gap in Superman's history for a particular reason. If you really want to watch the Donner Superman, is somewhat sums it all up. Later Zack Snyder attacked it with Man of Steel, but between Donner Superman and Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, the comics fleshed out what exactly was what the teenage years and the Superman for All Seasons example of when Clark Kent discovers himself, goes through puberty, the powers awaken. This is one of the coolest things about superheroes is this level of allegory. So let's just assume, like we're taking the gospel, we're taking the scripture for its word. There was a period of time that Morph was a regular human, right? There was a point of time where Mystique was a regular human. And before the mutation kicks in at puberty, what were they? And then, in so, do we refer to them as that? Like, permanently, historically. Now, that doesn't mean the character itself cannot change. And then what do we do with some of the biographical information of these characters too? Yeah, and I believe that should be dictated by Marvel and Disney. The character biographies for a lot of these instances should be dictated by the House of Ideas. It's not really not. It's not. It's still a little murky, but we do have to address that the origin, like we're there, like it's mutations in Marvel are equal to puberty. So what were they before then? We have to answer these questions. This is a hot button, and I'm not really trying to upset anybody, but I do feel like these questions have to be touched on. They have to be asked, and you out there, what do you think?